Today is our first class of Sociology optional. So, first of all, see, this is the start of a very important step in your preparation. Although we have discussed in orientation also, but still just want to reiterate that optional is, you can see, at something which is 50% of your rank maker. Without good optional marks, without good understanding of optional, it will be very difficult to get a rank. Now today it will be a short class, right? We will be focusing main on the syllabus. Now syllabus may be JS, may be your optional. Syllabus is something you should be knowing even before you start the preparation. You should be learning the syllabus. Learning in the sense, I'm not saying you memorize each and every word, but you should know what is the placement of the topics, what is the boundaries of the question which they will be asking, and that boundary will be told by syllabus only. Syllabus tells you the way that these questions or these topics are important. These are to be left out, because when we are talking about any optional subject, we are going to be doing it from the level of your bachelor's degree, right? Say your BA level of optional subject with respect to sociology or any other thing. But it doesn't include the entire degree syllabus. Topics are very clearly defined by UPSC, right? So we are not going to study each and every thinker which is there in sociology, because sociology as a humanity subject has lot of thinkers, lot of theories. Whatever is given in syllabus, we have to cover that. So each and every word which is there in your syllabus will be covered. We will be not leaving anything left that okay, this you can do or this that won't happen. Notes will be there which will have each and every topic according to the syllabus, right? You just have to sit here and listen, and the notes the next day will be, after the class will be given, comprehensive notes are also there. What I want from you is, from class 1, is that you are consistent with revision. Now, when we are talking about optional, revision becomes very important because you're doing something very new, entirely new. Exception, probably you have it in your graduation, you're a humanities student, that's a different thing. This is something totally new. You just have a familiarity that, okay, this is society, these are the things. Rest, whatever we will be covering, it will be new for you. So here you don't have a single chance to not revise. Revision of optional should be a part of your day from today onwards, right? Today we'll be just doing the syllabus and we'll start in a very slow manner. We'll not just simply jump into the syllabus. We'll just get an idea what we'll be covering, how we'll be covering. But your everyday, just half an hour revision is indispensable, right? In case you missed your lecture, please go downstairs. They will give you the recorded session. Watch the recorded session, right? Anyhow, if you feel that I need again quick, brushing up of the facts, I'll put the video on 2x and watch. You can do that also. But please don't leave a single day where you are not revising your optional subject. Make it an indispensable part of your daily routine, even if you are attending GS classes also. Because one class if missed, next you won't be understanding for sure. Because this is not history, this is not geography, this is an optional subject. So be regular with revision. Say for example, God forbid you are not feeling well, or sometimes there have been a lot of times where students become ill for a long period of time, right? Probably if you can, watch online sessions from your home, or if you cannot do that, please take the recorded sessions. Quickly complete the classes which you have missed so that you can quickly join back the classes which are ongoing. But never miss a class. This is not GS. I have seen people, they miss 1 and 2 class. That is also important, but it doesn't have a very long running impact. Here, everything is connected with each other. New concepts are there. One class missed means that you will be leaving, you are left behind a lot of things. Everything is connected with each other, right? Okay. Now let's just start talking about syllabus and also side by side how we will be moving when it comes to PDF syllabus, Kishore. So when we are talking about your syllabus, starting point of the optional will be from emergence of sociology. The first block is sociology, the discipline. Now here, if you start reading any subject, first it's always, or if you read anything, first thing you have to know its background. What is the history of this particular thing? Before sociology, there were other things also. Say, for example, philosophy is something which is seen as the starting point of humanity subjects. Philosophy was already talking about society. Philosophers like Aristotle, Plato, they were already discussing about that. Who are we? Why we are in the society? Why do we need rules? Why there are different institutions? They were already talking about it. Which brings us to the question that what was the specific need that a full-fledged new subject should be there for study of society? So your first chapter, which we will be discussing, is emergence of sociology. So it will be like a world history discussion, because emergence of sociology or any humanities subject per se started from the Enlightenment period. So we'll see the events which happened, which ultimately led to emergence of sociology. Now this part of your syllabus is the most easiest thing. These will be just series of events, one after the other, and their connection with emergence of sociology. That why did we need a subject to study society and how did it emerge? What was the chain of events? Like, have you done history? History is done for you. Modern history, we usually do revolt of 1857. We do different causes, that okay, political cause, economic cause, social cause, immediate cause, and then ultimately revolt of 1857. So treat this topic as a cause. That what were the various events which led to this question that we need a specialized subject to study sociology? Simple answer is society changed. Right? If in one word I have to give the gist of this chapter is that after starting from Renaissance period to Enlightenment period, then science revolution came about, right? So now these events changed the society. From a traditional society, we turned into a modern society. Now, when things change, old things cannot help you to understand this change. Your system of government changed. From monarchy, now talks are about your democracy, right? Here we will read about French Revolution also. Very little things about these. Will not go into the details as we do in world history, but we will be covering the events. Now monarchy was there, now democracy is there. There is a huge change. Now this huge change brought some changes in the society overall. Now from agrarian economy, industrial revolution started. The entire basis of economy changed, right? Now basis of economy, when we are talking, we were working in the fields and now it is a factory system. Now it is not just a factory system, things changed. Why? Because people, now factories were in cities, people migrated from villages to cities. Now with this, what happened? Family system changed. People who were living in villages were living together, were living in joint family. Now there is suddenly a new form of family, that is nuclear family, which has a couple and children. That's it. So to understand all these things, right, I'm just giving you a gist that when society underwent a change, you will need something new to make sense out of it. That what to do now. Now in this scenario, there were new social problems which emerged, like poverty, like slums, because in cities, factories are there. If you are a worker, you cannot afford expensive housing. So what happens is proliferation of slums. Now this is again a new thing. Why are people ready to live in certain conditions which hygiene wise, sanitation wise, ventilation wise are so poor? Then what is the impact on the family relationships? What is the impact on the economic status? Poverty starts. Other crimes, petty crimes started increasing in cities. Now, if you see any old movie, right? I'm talking about really old Hindi movies or probably your regional movies also, where there is a very, innocent guy who comes from the village. First time when he lands on the railway station, the first thing which happens is he gets duped. Probably somebody picks his pocket, somebody dupes him. But this also became for the first time that crime started making its entrance in cities. People who were living like a community in village where there was not no crime, nobody was cheating, nobody was lying. Suddenly there is a society where these things have become common because it was the question of survival. So when society undergoes such a huge change, there was a need that some new subject should give a perspective to that why these changes are happening, how do we tackle these situations, because until unless we understand the why question, we cannot tackle the way forward or how to address this issue. So this led to emergence of sociology. So we will be in the first part be doing about all these events in detail, that how and they are connected with emergence of sociology. What is the connection with it? And now this part, the first part, that is it visible to students at the back? Yes, visible, or should I zoom a little bit more? Visible, right? Okay. Now, first is this sociology, the discipline. So the first is modernity and social changes in Europe and emergence of sociology. Because these changes happened in Europe, Industrial Revolution, French Revolution, right? Scientific Revolution, Commercial Revolution. Very little part we'll be discussing about these events, but our more focus would be the cause and effect. That this is the cause, and what is our effect here? What is our effect? Emergence of sociology. So most of the time, students here, what they do in sociology, generally seen who have not attended my classes, that they know about the causes. They don't know the connection. Connection is very important. They will not be asking you write a short note on industrial revolution or write a short note on enlightenment period. Why we are studying enlightenment period or why we are studying industrial revolution? We want to see how our subject emerged here. So causes will be modernity, how modern society emerged, plus the social changes. So this will include all the events and its connection with emergence of sociology. We are not just concerned just with the events. Our main purpose is what was the, how did it lead to emergence of sociology. Now the best thing about this part is it is very easy, just involves memorization. We will be covering very slowly this part because this is the start of sociology, to have an idea of the society where the subject took birth, right? So now this part is easiest, but the best part is every year two questions or sometimes three questions will always come from this part. Sociology, the discipline as a whole. Emergence of sociology, always one question, either 10 marks or 15 marks. Now in the syllabus, now from here there is a takeaway. In the syllabus, there are certain topics which are more memorization based, right? Mechanism is there, right? But not very deeper understanding you need about it. Now these are low hanging fruits. Why low hanging fruits? Every year question will come from here. Just they will repackage the questions. right? Same thing they will be asking. Sometimes they will just ask, how did modernity led to emergence of sociology? Some days they, some years they might ask, how does industrial revolution and French revolution led to emergence of sociology? Right? So they will just change the language, repackage the question, or just pick up one cause and ask you the emergence of sociology. So it is the easiest way to get marks. So we will be aiming that once we are done with this topic, we will be seeing previous year questions, right? We will be discussing one or two previous year questions, and then whatever is left, you have to attempt from your side and get it checked from me, right? Try it from your side. If you cannot write full length answer, it's okay. And like, I think all of you have attended the orientation session. Yes or no? Anybody who has not attended? Orientation session is there on the YouTube where we have discussed how the classes will go on. So the one part of the class is answer writing starts from day one, because we have this understanding that when we are studying sociology, we are not studying like we are getting a degree or something. Our main aim at the end of the day is answer writing. So if it is not integrated with optional subject, optional if gets over, you will be clueless that how to write an answer here now, which is very detrimental to your rank. So answer writing and personal one-to-one mentorship is included in the course. So in the class, we will be discussing tomorrow, we'll discuss about the answer writing part also. We'll discuss about frameworks, we'll discuss about mnemonics, we'll discuss how sociology answer writing is different, a little different from GS answer writing. So tomorrow we'll be discussing the structure of answers. Because without answer writing, you cannot clear this exam. May it be GS, may it be optional. And optional answer writing, because the subject is new, it will be started from once one first topic is done. Every day, first thing in the morning, we'll be discussing one PYQ, right? Whatever will be given you as a work, you have to do it from your place. Please get it checked from me. You do brainstorming or you write a full length answer. You write a bad answer, you write a good answer, doesn't matter. I'm not here to judge you at all. There's only one judge, that is UPSC, who will give you marks. I am here to improve you. That's it. I'm not here to judge you. Even if it is the worst answer, it's okay. Because you are much better than the person who has not even started writing one word. So start somewhere, right? In fact, there was, one of my known, right? So he got a rank few years back. So now when he started with his answer writing, right, he was telling the stories, his answer writing was very bad. His command over language, his articulation was very bad. But one good thing about him was that he told that every day I used to literally pester my faculty to check my answers every day. And I was not ashamed of the fact that I'm writing a bad answer, because every time I showed an answer, I knew what went wrong. Because if you'll keep on writing at home and there's no one to tell you that this is right, this is wrong, then again you're preparing in dark. It's like shooting an arrow in dark when nobody can tell you that this is wrong, this is right. So with this, what happened is he every day improved. And this was not a one-day exercise. For months, he's writing answer without fail, showing it. And improvement did come. And he got a double-digit rank. Imagine a person who was not able to write answer, whose answer were very worst, language wise, grammar wise, presentation wise, structure wise, worse. And he knows that. But he did improve. Improvement is always, see, in your life, there is room for improvement. Every time in any scenario, even when you feel that you cannot do anything, still there will be room for improvement. Always when you start even UPSC preparation, have a growth mindset always. I have to grow. If I'm writing this, how to make better? There are a lot of students who will write very good answers. Still, they will ask you, ma'am, I want to improve more also. Tell me more points. Or tell me in which way I can again get half mark more or 1 mark more. Have that growth mindset always. And please don't indulge in self-pitying or self-loathing. I cannot do this. How will I do this? This is so big. The syllabus is not very, first of all, syllabus is very short. Sociology, one biggest advantage is syllabus is short because you are training your subconscious mind to be of low confidence. If you train your subconscious that you are doing your best, you will improve. And it doesn't mean that you don't work at all. You work, and at the same time, you accept that you are improving every day. Please don't indulge in this thing that, I was not good in college, or, my writing is bad. It's okay. Like I said, there's always room for improvement. You can improve. But for that, one precondition is you have to start. Don't have that idea that once preparation is done, once it is perfect, then one magical day will come where I'll start writing answer. That day never comes. Once one topic is done, start writing answers. And because optional is important, I will be doing it in the class itself. And once few substantial topics are covered, there will be a test, which I've already told in orientation class. That test, I'll only set, I'll only check, and one-to-one mentorship, I'll only be doing it. I'm not outsourcing to anybody. Right? Okay, anyhow. So our first part will be this. Easiest part, low hanging fruit. And we will be aiming that if it is a 10 marker, I will get 6 marks. And if it is a 15 marker, in the range of 9 to 10 marks, I should be getting. So the moment question comes from this topic, I'm super confident that I can handle it. Right? And throughout the syllabus, there are such topics. A lot of these such type of topics are there where not much understanding is required. It's just sequence of events which you have to replicate in the examination, right? So this will be our first part or the starting point of our syllabus to know what is the background, what is the history of sociology, right? Okay. Now the in the same block there are two this subtopics are there: scope of subject and comparison with other social sciences. So very briefly, we will cover this part, right? But the thing is, when it comes to comparison with social sciences, now here you will have to compare sociology versus economy, sociology versus history, sociology versus anthro. You need to have full information about sociology, then only you can compare. You just know that sociology is science of society. How will you compare it with other subject? You don't know its subject matter, you don't know its scope, you don't know the research methods, you don't know anything about sociology at the start, right? So this particular topic, this part B, we will be doing it at the last of our paper one. Once you have the entire overview of sociology, then you can compare, right? Say for example, there are two people, right? You are the third neutral person, and I ask you that compare these two people. You need to know those two people, then only you can compare it. If you don't have any information about those two people, how would you compare them? So although in the syllabus it is given as a topic number 2, it is not wise enough to start doing it in the second class because you will be clueless here. You don't know anything about sociology. So once your information about sociology is complete, what exactly sociology is, how it tackles things, what are its domains, what are its scopes. So at the end of paper 1, we will be doing this part, right? Similarly, lot of people consider, when the subject started, a lot of people claim that, okay, this is common sense only, that, why people marry. It's a common sense that once we are above 18 years of age, that is the marriageable age. This is common sense. What will sociology add something extra? What new sociology will tell? So during those times, the pioneers of sociology, right, the people who started sociology, they gave the differences that this is not common sense. This is something different, right? Now, how this comparison came about, again, we will discuss at the last because you need to have a knowledge about what is sociology. Then only you can compare the things, right? Yes, are we clear here? Making sense? Okay. Now, the next part of the syllabus is before I move further, just let me do a broad classification that when we are talking about specifically about paper one, one part is about what is sociology, where we will discuss about its emergence. We'll discuss about its scope. Scope are the boundaries. What exactly sociology study? We'll discuss its comparison with other social sciences and its difference from common sense. Right? So this is one part of the syllabus. That what is sociology. Now, within this, or as a separate thing you can take is that how are we studying society, right? Within sociology, how are we studying, right? So now this how are we studying part, we will be doing research methods that I want to know about, that whether institution of marriage is losing its significance or it is still important. How will I do? I will have some research methods. I'll do case study. I'll collect facts, right? So there are a lot of research methods, right, which will be providing evidence about things which we will be doing. So those will be research methods. Plus, when sociology started, science was the most important subject during that time. Science had just emerged. So it had a lot of influence on sociology also. The initial thinkers, they had a mindset that if we are able to prove or if we are able to study society scientifically, not randomly, because we want to differentiate it from common sense. We study it scientifically. When you're saying study scientifically, it doesn't mean you're going into the laboratory, right? That type of experimentation is not possible with society, that you pick up few people and then you treat them like guinea pigs. No, that is not possible. When we are saying science, it means through logic, through rationality, through reasoning, through evidence, not sitting on a chair and speculating about things that this might have happened or this might be the reason. You have certain concrete logic behind it, you have evidence behind it. So, here, how are we studying sociology? We are studying it scientifically. So, one part of your syllabus is sociology as science. So, this part will tell you that how do we study society. This will tell you what is sociology, what is the subject. And whenever you go through GS subject also, try to divide it into broader blocks, because in between the syllabus, in between the classes are going on, sometimes you get lost. You don't know what exactly are you studying. You're just, involuntary learning, mugging of facts, that's it. Know the placement of something always. That if this is a topic, what is the placement? That if they are asking about this particular thing in the topic, say for example in ethics, there are certain topics which can be broadly classified as governance topics. Some can be classified as your aptitude and attitude part of the syllabus. First part is about basic terminologies. So you should be able to divide the syllabus into proper blocks, not just with respect to syllabus, that what is the aim of these topics. So when you are studying, you're not lost in between that, okay, why I am studying about surveys, social surveys. How would it help me? Because it is telling you how did we study the society, how the thinkers collected evidence, right? Say, for example, one we'll be doing a theory of suicide, which was given by Emile Durkheim, very important thinker for sociology. Now, he collected data from police records to give certain social reasons that when we are talking about suicide, it's not a personal act, it has social reasons. And when he's saying it has social reason, he's not an armchair sociologist or armchair scholar is somebody who sits on the chair and then just speculates, which was usually considered the domain of your psychology, or not psychology, philosophy. Philosophy, what used to happen is different thinkers used to sit, Aristotle, etc. And then they used to have debates. Out of debates, they used to have certain deduction that, okay, this might have happened. Now, when we are talking about sociology, there are ways to study society. And because we don't want it to be, accused of that this is common sense, what extra you have told about this, tackling of subjects since the start has been scientifically. And when I'm saying scientifically, again, repeating the thing, it's not about going to the laboratory and doing experiments. It is about seeing things with logic. You have reason behind it. You can, have a cause and effect kind of, proving of the cause and effect that, okay, this was the cause, this is the effect, right? So this part will be telling you about how are we studying society. So when we see this part, sociology as science and research methods, right? This part will be telling you how to study society. What are the research methods, right? And when we are talking as sociology as science, what is the meaning? Now, again, these two topics we will be covering later on. Only some few topics which we'll be discussing here is just this part. Again, this will make more sense when you cover the paper one syllabus and then we discuss that, okay, these were the research methods. Again, these two topics, especially this topic, is purely learning based. Easiest chapter, right? We'll be discussing research methods. What are those methods? What are their advantages? What are their disadvantages? That is all. Again, a low hanging fruit because every year one or two question again will definitely come from here. Where you just have to memorize things. It's guaranteed question will come from here. And through over the years previously usually short notes 10 markers used to come, now 20 markers are also coming, and which is great news. You just have to write down things. It's memorization based, that's it. No deeper understanding is required, right? So now these blocks, when we are talking, sociology the discipline, sociology as science, research methods and analysis. Major part of this we will be doing towards the end of paper one. One reason being, you will understand, I can do it now also, but your understanding will be more clearer when you have a base in sociology. Secondly, it is memorization based, right? There is not much understanding involved, but you should be knowing that how it is related once you study major part of the sociology. So we will start with this chapter and then we will shift to your thinkers part, right? Now, the most important part of your syllabus. First, we will be studying what is sociology. Then the other part of the syllabus is how are we studying society. Third part of the syllabus is the point of view. From which point of view you are studying society. You can write this down for your understanding. This will make a lot of sense once the entire syllabus is done or once paper one is done. You'll know the placement of things, you'll know the order of things. One very important thing about UPSC preparation is it should be ordered, it should be structured, it should not be random in nature that you don't know what is the meaning. and you don't know why this particular part is there in the syllabus. If you know the order, doing things are very easy. Now we will be doing different point of view of studying the society. Right? Now, when we're talking about point of view, consider this entire room as society. Right? Now, if this room is society, there are different point of views of seeing this particular room. Someone who sees from the end will see this classroom from a very different perspective. Probably the pillars in between will, you can see at back, pillars in between will block his view. So his perspective about this room will be different. Somebody who's watching from there will be seeing from a different perspective. Somebody watching from the window will see the same room, which is we are treating as a society, in a different manner. Somebody from there will see different. I standing here, I am able to see everything, barring few areas which are blind spots behind the pillar. Somebody who's standing on the door will be able to see different. So when we are treating society, when we are starting with sociology, that we have to study society. Now there were different thinkers, or in simple layman word right now we can say different scholars who started studying society, and they had different point of views. Treat them as people seeing the room, which is society, from different point of views, and they formed the foundation of understanding of society. That in which manner you see the society. Now, this area is the most important part of your syllabus, because first of all, almost 50% of your questions will be coming from here, from thinkers part. Secondly, if you don't understand thinkers, your other parts of the syllabus will become difficult. Now, before I explain further, now to make your things even more easier, so that you have time, usually what happens is there are 6 thinkers: Karl Marx, Durkheim, Weber, Parson, Merton, Mead. These you can treat them as pioneers of sociology, most important sociologists, at least from the syllabus point of view. Right? Now, all the 6, they have different viewpoints or different understanding about the society. Now, what we will be doing, see, my style of covering syllabus is not linear. My understanding, because I have been an aspirant like you, so I understand that a lot of things just go over the head if they are covered in linear manner. You're not able to understand things, and sometimes there is too much overburdening on the student that he lags behind in the syllabus. So first what we will do is we will cover these 3. Why is this? First we will do this 3 thinkers: Marx, Durkheim, Weber. Treat them as, like, you can treat them like grandfather of the subject, first generation of scholars, right? Your grandfather in your household, he is the eldest, right? And everything which your family knows, does, starts from him. So these 3 thinkers are very, very important, because their understanding, the entire syllabus will rest on understanding of these 3 thinkers, right? And next obvious step is you cover the next 3 thinkers also, but it will be a lot for you to take in, to practice, to understand. So I am thinking about that I take it with certain break. I'll start with the next topic, which will have no impact, right? And after that topic, then, so that it gives you time that you become proficient in Marx, Durkheim, Weber. And by the time you're confident about these 3 thinkers, I'll start with the next three thinkers, right? So you have time to settle in, to understand, and there is no overburdening on you. I don't want that. As a student, when I was there, when you are just started with the subject, and there are certain, and this is very common thing, start with thinkers first. Like I am also just doing one topic, and after that thinkers is there. Now with this, sometimes happen is when six thinkers are done at once, it overburdens the student, right? And I have to do this also, and people do it. I'm not saying it is not possible, you can do it, but let's do it in a manner which is more sustainable in nature, sustainable for a long run. That once you are clear with these three important thinkers, then we will cover up the next three thinkers, which are much easier. Only one thinker, Talcott Parson. He's not difficult, but the thing is, way he gives his theory, it's very abstract in nature. Even people after him was not able to understand what he was trying to convey. But I have made this thinker very easy. I've made infographics, I've made flowcharts, which will make Parsons also very simple to understand. He's not difficult, but his language which he uses, concepts which he uses, it is little confusing. But we will not have this confusion once we cover this. So we will cover these three with little bit of gap. And by gap, I don't mean you'll have holidays. We'll start covering with stratification. And once stratification is complete, we'll come back to this part. Right? Yes, are we clear here? Because this I have my own experience, and I have seen students who have not even attended my classes. Once thinkers start, there is too much overburdening, and I don't want that. Right? Okay. So coming back here, point of view. The thinkers which we will be discussing, they will be telling you about the different point of views to study society. Right? Let's take an example, right? Apart from the thinkers which we'll be discussing, example which you can understand. Do you know about feminism? Right? So feminism is also a view to, feminist theory is also view to see society. Now, how do feminists see society? Anyone? Any idea? Or what is feminism? Sorry? Men are oppressing women. Okay, one aspect of it. Yes, feminism is looking for equality, that men and women, they should not be in a hierarchy that men are superior and women are inferior. Right? Anyone else when you think about feminism? Okay, patriarchy is a concept in feminism. Okay. Now, when we talk about feminist theorists, there are feminist scholars. See, this is just an example. This is not start of syllabus or something, just to give you an idea that when we are talking about point of view, when we are talking about thinkers, what is the meaning of these thinkers? So, because feminism, everybody knows, right? We are not discussing who is feminist scholar at this point of time, just studying about this theory. Now, this is a point of view to look at society. Now, feminist scholars will always look the society from point of view that society has certain structures which are oppressive for women. Right? Say, for example, a feminist theorist studying marriage. Right? Institution of marriage is there in the society, right? It's a part of society, yes or no? Right? So now this institution of marriage, when feminists will study, their point of view will be very different. Introducing one more term here, it's simple. We'll do it in detail, but just for a clearer understanding, there are a group of thinkers known as functionalists. Functionalists, as the name suggests, they find functions in everything. Right? Just for right now, just simple understanding. So when they will see as marriage, they will say that it has a lot of important functions to perform for the society. What are the important functions of marriage? Anyone? Why marriage is there in the society? Sorry, progeny for children, right? Your children become legitimate only when marriage is there. Otherwise, if children born out of wedlock or without marriage, they're known as illegitimate children. So it gets legitimacy. Children, future generation comes in, right? Or it has a function of companionship, right? That two people, humans by nature, they cannot live alone. They need somebody, they need a community, they need somebody to share life with. So, companionship, emotional stability, that you come from work, right? You're tired from trials and tribulation of the outside world. Who supports you? Who listens to you? Who listens you to rant? Your spouse, your partner, right? Before marriage, obviously your family. Because we are talking about marriage, so I'm talking from this perspective. So, functionalist, right? We are discussing about the point of view. They will see the functions of marriage. Now, coming back to the main thing, feminists, their point of view will be very different. They will see it from as a system which is oppressive. They will say that marriage as an institution is useful only for men. Why? They say that when we're talking about marriage as an institution, who gets a person or a caretaker for free? Men. Who gets a free maid? Men, right? Who gets a person who takes care of house in the form of cleaning, doing laundering, cooking? Your men, right? And when we see women, she has everything to lose. First of all, what does she lose? She lose her house. He's living in the same house with his parents most of the time. Now, what is the, whatever he gains is in plus. He's gaining. And what is she losing? Now, this is a perspective. The point of view of understanding feminist theory is that there can be different point of views to see different things. Now, feminist theorists will say that marriage, women has to, it's a loss making exercise for a woman. Why? She leaves her home. She has to take a career break sometimes. She has to shift to the city where her husband is there. When she was at her home, she was not even working, doing laundering or cleaning. After marriage, there is so much burden of in-laws, right? And now when we're talking about burden of in-laws, her husband also gets new in-laws. But does he stay with them? Right? In your household, you might have seen any of your sister getting married or something. When once the son-in-law comes, the environment is very formal in nature, right? Taking care of him, treating him like a king, that he has come for just few days, make him happy, right? Right. In fact, in Hindu household, there's a very common saying also that when we are talking about your son-in-law, he's like a avatar of a god. You have to make him happy. He's the most important person. And so in Indian culture, in fact, the parents, their body language is very formal, right? They'll, bow down a little. Yes, yes, yes. What do you want? Very common. So he getting a in-laws, in fact, it is beneficial to him. There's a entire grand gestures for him, right? They'll treat him like some king or something. Feminists will say, let's see on the other side. She has to take care of in-laws. She has to stay with them 24/7. It's not like I'm going like a guest there. She has to adjust with a set of parents, right? Call them, make them her mother and father, literally, because she's living. A husband calling his wife's parents, mother and father, is very different. Probably in 6 months they'll go once, or probably once a month. That's it. It's like going like a guest. Now here there are added responsibility on the women, taking care of the house, right? You know, very recent case you might have seen, Twisha Sharma dowry case was there. Her mother-in-law in press conference, the girl has died. What is she saying? She didn't water the plants, right? She didn't used to cook. The girl has died. Still, there are expectations out of it. So, feminist point of view of seeing marriage is very different, which is not wrong, but might be little partial, just one-sided view. Treated like, you know, the probably if few of you have attended the society lectures of mine, I've given example there. Treat like this. This is the room, right? In this room there is an elephant, and four blind people enter the room, and four blind people that are asked describe this elephant. So how will they describe? They cannot see it with their eyes. They will touch different parts of the elephant. One might get hold of the tail, one might get hold of the tusk, one might get hold of the trunk of the elephant, one might be the legs. Now make them sit in a room and ask, what does an elephant look to you? Person who is holding tail, person who is holding legs or tusk, the description will be very different. But they're talking about same elephant only, but a partial manner, one part of it, one aspect of it. So thinkers are also like this. They're saying the same society from different point of view, but a part of it. Which we are not saying that this thinker is wrong and this is right. No, there's no right and wrong here. There's no superior and inferior thing. Their point of view, what kind of probably glasses they are wearing. If you wear a rose colored glass, you will see the entire things in front of you in rose colored. If you're wearing black colored, you will see it in black only. So thinkers treat like they're wearing different sunglasses, or they are like blind people touching an elephant. Now, when we're talking about feminist things they have talked about, they're not wrong. In fact, it's a wonderful analysis where we glorify the institution of marriage so much. These things we forget that how much a woman loses in this institution, right? Now, when we'll cover it from Karl Marx also talks about marriage and family. We'll see it later on. Not exactly in the starting only, but when we'll do institution of marriage, family, where there we will. He has a very different perspective. He sees it from capitalism point of view, right? Right now, you might not be able to understand. We'll discuss it later. But are you able to understand why are we doing thinkers? Yes, yes or no? Thinkers are providing different point of views to see the same society. None of them is wrong, none of them is like giving the best description. It's just a point of view. Compare it with your religion also. No religion is true, no religion is false. It's just a way to see, pray the same creator. That's it. God, Bhagwan, Allah, similar things, different paths. You are revering, you are respecting the same creator, but the way of approach, way of, you know, praying him, it is different. Names are different, but we're talking about the same thing, because we as humans understand that in this entire universe, which is so complex, which is so intricate, there has to be a creator. That is the, perception of atheist. Sorry, perception of theists, not atheist. People who believe in a creator. Atheists are who don't believe. But the theists, they believe that there has to be a creator because this complexity, rivers, mountains, so many plants, birds, animals, humans, their body is so complex, there are different systems working together. There has to be a creator. Now, how do you approach this creator? There are different religions, and every religion has something good to tell, something very different to tell about it. But we cannot say that this is right, this is wrong, just different ways. So similarly, when we will be doing thinkers in sociology, there are different point of views to understand the society, our basis to understand the society. Before we start with the thinkers, I will give you a classification. There is a whole classification about different point of views, which we'll be naming it as different theoretical strands in sociology. So before we do this, start with sociological thinkers, we will be doing a classification of different theoretical strands in sociology. Theoretical strands here is nothing but a fancy name for point of view, right? And the classification, underneath this classification, we have to cover these 6 thinkers. Other point of views like feminism, we don't have to cover it separately, but it will keep on coming in between. We'll discuss it as a part when we're discussing family, marriage, or religion also. Now, again, if you see feminists, they see even religion as a oppressive structure, that religion has extra duties on women, how to dress, to be obedient to her husband. Every religion talks about obedience to husband, but never about obedience of husband to wife, right? Duties of a good wife, good daughter always given, men shown as protector and women as somebody to be protected. So feminists have very different view on religion also, that religion is also oppressive structure, right? So you will see them to be critical of different structures. They're always criticizing, and that is not wrong, it is legit, but just one part, right? Yes, are we clear here? There's always, there's one particular thing which I have read, right? It applies to religion also, it applies to different ideologies also, which says that every ideology will have good points also, bad points also. Feminists as a theory will have criticism also, but it has good points also. So when we are talking about any religion, any ideology, as a person, I'm not just talking about sociology, general. If you cannot name 2 things wrong about your ideology, about your religion, and 2 good things about the opposite ideology or opposite religion, you are brainwashed. Because nothing is perfect or flawless. There will always be some criticism. So that is how you become tolerant of other ideas also. Know your weaknesses, know other person's strength also. That will make you a person who is analytical in your approach, and not a person who is handed over an ideology and just follow it without questioning, without seeing the other perspective also, right? Anyhow, this was a general thing. So your thinkers will become your foundation of your entire sociology. Through this major theoretical strands, I will give you the classification. There are 3 types of classification which we can do. I'll give you an infographic, a flow chart also with respect to this. Now, under this 6 thinkers have been given as a syllabus, and in these 6 thinkers again, UPSC has given certain theories. Right now in marks, this and this is just one theory only, and this is second theory. So we will be doing marks 2 theories which will tell us about his point of view. Very interesting thinker. This is a person who wrote his theories in 1800, and his theories are even true today also in 2026 also, right? Then we will be doing Emile Durkheim, his theory of division of labor, social fact, suicide, religion. He was one of the pioneer sociologists. He's a French person, so French sociology, he was the second person. First was Auguste Comte. We'll discuss about him. He's the father of sociology. First, person who laid a proper foundation to sociology as a different discipline was Emile Durkheim. Now he talks about religion, talks about your suicide theory also, he talks about division of labor. Now once we are done with religion and society here only, right, there is a future block which we'll be covering. religion and society, sociological theories of religion. So a lot of things are connected. One part is already done because we did it in Durkheim part. We'll do his theory here and there it is automatically done. So a lot of syllabus in sociology is not just short but also interlinked. Lot of topics you will even cover before it comes in the broader topic later on. So that makes again the preparation very easy. You're done with Durkheim, your one theory of religion is already done, right? And once you do religion and society in paper one, paper two is just a repetition. Same theory. The theory will not change, but just we'll do it from India point of view. That's it. Same things. We'll study more about the concept of secularism because secularism is important, communalism, religious fundamentalism, which are important issues in Indian society. Theories are already done. So religion and society in paper two is very quick because your bases are clear, your foundation is clear in paper one itself. That is why it is the easiest and quickest optional. There are a lot of people who change in between also. They've taken some other subject and then in between they feel after 6 months they want to change. For them also it is doable, right? Because if you choose something else, it's a full-fledged, very long syllabus. It will take time. This doesn't take much time, right? Okay, coming back. So these will be our thinkers, which we will be doing in two parts. First three thinkers first, they are like the grand old man, grandfathers of sociology as a subject. Rest three are more recent in nature, right? Then comes the application part in sociology. What is sociology? How do we study society? What are the different point of views? Last part of paper one here, broader topic, is application. Or you can say a more zoomed in approach that okay, we have understood about larger society, different point of views, what is society, what are the different parts of society. So let's just zoom in. Like we consider it as like this whole building is a society, right? From outside you have seen everything that okay, here is the layout plan, here are the windows, here is the parking space, everything. Now you will move on to one room individually on every floor. So this part will cover that, right? So the application part here, we will be covering major aspects of the society, zoomed in aspects. So one of the most important thing on which the entire systems in society function is stratification. Stratification is ranking, grading or hierarchy, right? So even when we talk about caste system also, that's a system of grading, right? And in this system of grading, we will discuss that in our society, how did this grading came about? And because of it, how did inequality emerged in the society? We have inequality also because of grading, right? Right. So we will be talking about stratification. Stratification's meaning is it is derived from a word in your geography, strata. Strata means layers. How are different individuals, how are different groups arranged in layers, which might be on the basis of class, upper class, middle class, lower class, status groups. Status, we'll see status is linked with your lifestyle. Gender, gender also divides. There's a hierarchy that men are the top. In fact, there's a person, Simon Devol, he has done a lot of study about women, feminist theories. He named that in society women is second sex. When both were created equal, women is the second sex. First is always men, right? So we will discuss about ethnicity also, race also, because these are all parameters of divisions in the society. How much money you have, to which race you belong, to which status group you belong, which gender you are, will decide your position in the society. Now, this is the application or zoomed in approach towards the society. Let's see inside, let's see each room. Society is functioning, or society is arranged in layers, and we have to study those layers. What are the dimensions or what are the standards of those divisions? We'll study about that. And similarly, we will be doing the theories of this stratification. Now, again, theories. Marx, you have already understood in your previous topics and thinkers. So we'll just do his specific theory. It will be very simple for you to understand because you know how Marx thinks. So now what Marx thinks about stratification, what does he thinks about power, what does he think about religion, family, it is easy because you know his approach. Like I gave example of feminism. Once you know the crux of feminism, that they will see everything as a structure of oppression. Everything. Religion, family, marriage, power, everything. So now here, theories will be there. Weber we also do, and structural functionalism is nothing but an approach of Durkheim. So you can see that this part is again simple. Base is already built up in previous chapter. Again, makes your work very simple. This is not a new concept. This is just a continuation of what we have done in the thinkers part. That is why again repeating thinkers are very, very important. It sets the tone for your rest of the syllabus. Right? We'll be doing it in a manner which is most simplified, most simplest layman generic way we will try to cover. Right? Okay. And then we will talk about social mobility, that in these layer going up and down is also possible, especially when it comes to class. But other groups are more closed in nature. Gender wise you are fixed, caste wise you are fixed, race wise you are fixed. So certain groups will have mobility in the society, certain will not have. Open system, closed system. Right? So this part we will be covering here. Now once this part is complete, and in your paper 2 we cover caste system. Right? We'll see if time allows. This time I am trying to do it in a sense that more understanding comes about syllabus. We'll see if we can cover caste system, not the entire part, but just an introduction. So this part is done. GS1 Indian society caste system is a part of syllabus that is covered. So there is a overlap, not just in the syllabus of sociology, overlap with GS is also there. So your caste system part is done. When you will do religion and society here, lot of topics, secularism, communalism, religious diversity, it is part of GS1 society. You don't need to read that. In fact, Indian society in GS1 is sorted for you. You don't have to cover it separately once you are a student of sociology. Right? And the topics which you are covering, they're very analytical in nature. That bent of mind is needed for essay also. Right? And in essay, every year now and then quotes about women empowerment do come. So when you understand about the feminist theory, you understand about patriarchy, it's very simple. Right? So syllabus, when you read it, always linear form will not make sense. In fact, if you are attending my Indian society lectures also, they're not linear according to syllabus. They're according to their integration with the major topics. So same we will be doing in your sociology here also, which makes sense for you to understand. And once the syllabus is done, then doesn't matter what you did first or the next or third or last, doesn't matter at all. But it should be covered, right? Now, this will be your application part, stratification and mobility. Then we will talk about work and economic life. But even economic life, when we are talking about, it is not an aspect of just economy. It has societal reasons also. It is very closely to related to society. How? Say, for example, if there is an Hindu, he has a very lucrative opportunity in beef industry, right? That he will earn a lot of money out of it. or there is a Muslim, he has a big money making opportunity in pork industry. Will he do that? No. So your economic decisions are not always economic decisions. The societal aspect, which religion you follow, what is your culture, what is your tradition, that also will decide your job too, right? So I have heard, once I have heard this thing that a lot of Indian parents, when we talk about older generation, they were not okay with their kids becoming lawyers. That if you are a lawyer, you have to lie. You have to lie to earn money. So they were very, had a very negative connotation about lawyer as a profession. Well, lawyer during those times used to earn a lot. Today also they earn a lot, but their status was there for lawyers. A lot of status. So we will try to see from this. This is very short topic. Again, very simple. The simplest of chapter is work and economic life. And we will see that lot of things in our economy, what work we are doing, how it is arranged, what is the hierarchy there. It's very closely related to social aspect also. It's not purely about demand and supply. It is about the society. It has a societal concept in that, and we will study that particular part. Like we will see that when we are talking about gig economy today, for example, there has been lot of surveys that gig economy, most of the people who are working in gig economy come from lower caste and lower class. Most of the landless farmers in India. Now, land is something related to your economy. Most of the landless farmers in India are lower caste people. Now, how there is a combination of class and caste in economy, we will cover in this chapter. Right? So, starting from here, it's more application based, seeing micro aspects of the society. And again, simple that after thinkers are done, major mental load will be thinkers. Rest chapters are very simple, right? Then we will study about politics and society also. We'll cover about power, because power again has a societal aspect. Here, this chapter is easy, but it will take the most time, because subtopics are most in this chapter. So we will discuss about power elite, bureaucracy, democracy, citizenship, but from societal point of view. This will make more sense when we'll start doing it, right? So this covers the part of politics and how it is related to the society. Again, the application part, right? Then next, religion and society. Sociological theories of religion we'll be doing. We'll be doing different types of activities, religious practices basically, right? And then we'll see religion in modern society. Here, the very important question will be that religion made a lot of sense in traditional societies when scientific development was not there, and they were not able to make sense of things. So, if there is a thunderbolt or lightning, don't know the procedure, they don't know the mechanism, so they attributed it to some creator. And somebody in the sky is angry, and that is why thunderbolt or lightning is there. Or God is happy, that is why rains are coming. He's angry this year, droughts are there, let's pray for rainfall. Now, religion made a lot of sense there. When we say modern society today, when we have explanation for almost everything, every natural phenomena, we have traveled to Mars, moons also, space also, we have covered, we have gone to depths of ocean, we understand everything. Still, religion exists in society. Why it exists? What is the reason behind it? That when science is there, which is giving you all answers, still religion is there. What is its function right now in the modern society? It's a very, very interesting concept where sociologists explain this phenomena, that science may have given you questions about all the things why, but the big question, why I am here, What is the purpose of my life? Science doesn't tackle that. There is a vacuum which science was not able to fulfill. When I am in my lowest, when I am facing struggles, failures, who gives me hope? Not science. God gives me hope. So when we know everything, also still we want to have that sense of hope. The entire human civilization stands on hope only. The next day will be better. When we know things scientifically, but we hope for it. Where does this hope come from? It comes from religion. So we will be doing a better understanding of this fact that why in modern society, like I told you in orientation itself, sociology will lead you to think at a deeper level, make you a person who questions things, analyzes things, which is the correct or the most important mindset for UPSC, for GS also, for essay also. Analysis, never taking things on face value. That religion is there in society. Why it is there? What is the origin? What is the function of religion? What is the function right now of religion? Why a scientist who produced a satellite before launching is conducting a puja when he's a man of science? Sociology will answer you, right? Then sociology will also talk about that when we talk about different religion, women are given a lot of extra responsibilities, right? Which may be in the form of clothes, which may be in the form of, taking care of the family, obedience, lot of extra things are there. But still, in society, women are most religious. Feminist question that something which oppresses you, you are still following that. Feminist question in this way that women following religion, that is their perspective. See, whatever I am teaching in class, it is not my personal opinion at all. It is about what the different thinkers are saying. Even when you are studying sociology also, your personal bias should stay at home. Even UPSC preparation, whatever religion, community, caste, wherever you come from, leave it aside. See it from the subject point of view. So feminists feel that women are so oppressed by the religion. They have extra duties, right? There is a full definition of who is a good wife, who is a good daughter, the full-fledged, reasons given for it. Your religions don't allow women to fast or go to places of worship when they are menstruating. And women are still the most ardent followers of the religion. They will compare it like it's like chicken liking KFC, right? So they will compare in this position, but still, why women follow religion? They have an answer for it also, right? We'll do that later on. That why most religious, most number of women, right? Especially if you see in Hindu household, women's will have lot of pujas at home, right? They'll gather their friends, pray together. Their routine of going to temple is very strict as compared to men. Women will be the first to go to the temple every day without fail. Why this is there? When there are certain rules against them in the religion. So scholars have answer for this also. So sociology will not just treat it on the surface, it will go deep. It will make you, again, orientation class, if you remember, it will make you a more better human being who is devoid of judgment. You don't judge things. You find the reason behind it. Because we will be covering, when we'll cover family marriage, we will see polyandry also. One woman marrying two men. Now here you will not judge that, oh, this is such a disgusting practice. No. You will see the reason that why in that society a woman has two husbands. Or why polygyny, one man having lot of wives, were very common in the olden times. Now what has changed? Why divorce rate is rising nowadays? Why people are not marrying much? Why people are going for no children in marriage also. So all these things, the why aspect, not just numbers that okay, marriage rates are declining, divorces are increasing, link couples, a double income, no kids, it is increasing. Sociology will help you to get the reason behind it. And this is not limited to your exam. As a human being, also, you should be knowing these things. You should not be judging anyone. You should be knowing the reason behind it. Even if it is a social evil, even if it is a bad practice, you should know the reason behind it. Because if you know the reason behind it, you will find a solution instead of judging. That is your job as a civil servant. When people come to you with problems, a woman comes that my husband beats every day, you will have to know, and still she go back to the same husband, takes back the complaint. So you don't have to judge her, you have to see her situation. She's a victim of patriarchy, she's not financially independent, where she will go with the kids. At max, she can just threaten the husband that I'll file a report, that's it. She has no place to go. So with as being a sociology student, you become less judgmental, more solution oriented, because you understand the mechanism behind it. You understand the mechanism, why it is working in this way, and how to improve it if in case it is a malpractice or if it is not suitable for the society. So your judgment goes away. That's one best thing, because we as humans are very judgmental. We'll judge everyone, why he's following this religion, why he's wearing these type of clothes, why he's eating this, why he's behaving like this. Sociology develops that mind where you think about reasons, where you put yourself in other person. You become more empathetic also somehow. That because you understand that where that person is coming from. Right? Yes, are we clear here? Now, if you compare it with any psychologist, if anybody comes up with counseling that okay, I have been feeling anxious or whatever, psychologist will always ask about the childhood, because with childhood, now she's not judging, she's looking for a reason that why this person behaves in certain manner, and then how should I manage this issue with him. He might have a childhood trauma, or he might have some incident in the childhood, or parenting might would have been bad. He might have been a victim of corporal punishment, constant beating at home, and now she doesn't judge. Right? Now she tries to find a solution. Same as a sociology student, you don't judge, you understand and find the solution. Sociology is also very solution oriented. Social thinkers have been finding solutions to poverty, to caste over centuries. It's not just a theoretical subject, it is not, it's an application based thing. Like any subject, if you study physics, you just don't study as a subject, you apply it also. So, sociology, when we compare it with humanities, any subject, it is more solution oriented, because it is about society in which you are living and which will be your domain of work when you become a civil servant. Right? Yes, are we clear here? So, like this, next, religion and society will be your systems of kinship. Here we will study family, marriage, kinship, patriarchy as a concept. Right? Again, very interesting. Interesting, why I'm saying, because you see these things every now and then. Now you will know the reason. Then last chapter is social change. We have studied everything, study every institution. We have talked about society. Now we will study about the change in society. How does this happen? What are the theories of social change? Right? Why the change is happening? How the change is happening? What are the agents of social change? How education leads to social change? Science and technology leads to social change. This is also work and economic and social change and society. They are the easiest and the shortest subblocks. Right? Yes, are we clear about the paper one? How we will be moving and what are the basic broader classification outside syllabus? This understanding is very, very important. So you have a understanding in the class in which direction we are going. What are we exactly studying? Sometimes we lose sight of it. We don't know what we are studying. We are just studying it like in a random manner, right? Now, tomorrow we'll meet again at 11:30. Paper 2, I'll discuss a little bit of paper 2, and then we will talk about answer writing. Answer writing is the first step. First, obviously, first step is knowing the syllabus. Second is how to write an answer. Then comes the syllabus covering. Then we'll start with the first chapter, right? Yes, clear. Any doubt anybody has? Sorry? Paper 2, we'll discuss this tomorrow. Don't worry. So paper 2 is, mostly the same things. If you see, like caste system, tribal communities, or if you see the social classes in India, system of kinship, social change, same things, but from India's perspective. Only three thinkers will be there, but most of the things we'll see that we'll use Marx also, we'll use Western thinkers also. And this is, less content specific, right? There will be not much to read about things. Say, for example, this whole topic, agrarian class structure, industrial class structure, and middle classes in India. Now, this is a very simple topic here, right? You don't have to do much details here. Paper 2 has like this very short topic, most important chapters from where question comes. Is this caste system, right? We'll discuss tomorrow also. Then in politics and society in paper 1, we did social movements. So here we will be doing social movements in India. This part, right? So schedule caste movement, peasant movements, environmental movements, ethnicity and identity movement. This two topics will be most important. Rest other topics are very, very simple, right? There's nothing much to understand in paper 2. And paper 2, I will be giving you a lot of extra content when it comes to your uh, examples or case studies. Now, case studies come, there's one magazine known as EPW magazine. Now, EPW magazine is a very good magazine for sociology student, but its subscription is very expensive and it's not easy for you to read every month. So, I will be giving you important articles from EPW once paper 2 is done, right? And the first day only, I will give you an entire PDF regarding that, a PDF regarding current affairs about that year, which you can use in sociology, right? Paper 2 we'll discuss a detail tomorrow, but it is very easy, right? It's like covering the application part in Indian society, right? You did in your paper 1. Paper 2, we will study about certain economic events in India like Green Revolution. Now, Green Revolution, as a GS student, sorry, that it was about agricultural production, high yielding varieties was produced. That is not our domain. There were changes in society during that time. For example, when Green Revolution was at height in Punjab and Haryana, maximum sex selective abortions happened in these areas. Why? Because land became very important due to Green Revolution. Now, who inherits land? Male child. So your sex selective abortion became very high. So we are not just seeing Green Revolution as economic production. We are seeing in society what change happened. So that part is just one single part. We'll see other things also. What was the impact on women? What was the impact on family? Whatever we have done in paper 1, continuation will be there in paper 2. Right? So paper 1, if done nicely, paper 2 is a cakewalk. Easiest thing. Right? And thinkers which are there in paper 2, they are just three thinkers and they don't come as application in the paper. They just come as simple questions and they're very easy to understand, right? One will be a thinker who has same approach as Durkheim, structural functionalism. So his ideas will be same only. You don't have to do something extra. One thinker is Marxist. So whatever Marx talks about, he talks from India perspective. One different thing is Indology. His approach is you read scriptures, Indian scriptures, and then you study about Indian society. So even the three thinkers which are given in paper two, they have taken inspiration from paper one thinkers only. So their point of view is similar in nature. So you don't have to do some extra practice for paper two one, right? And topics are very simple in paper two, because these topics you have done in GS also, but just we'll do it from the society part, right? So we'll start again tomorrow, 11:30. We'll discuss about paper two. We'll discuss about answer writing, frameworks, mnemonics to make your answer writing more easy when it comes to sociology, right? Okay, thank you so much. Not required. NCRT is not required. See, whatever, when we're talking about NCRT for any subject, when you've just started, then it can give a base, just a base to understand. It's not the indispensable part of preparation, it's just the base. If you're not read it, don't worry, no problem with that. Not much fodder material is there in the NCRT. We'll cover everything here, right? Thank you so much.